Welcome to Adjust, the Conversation, a podcast where mental health is spoken about honestly, without judgment, and in a way that actually makes sense for real people living real lives. Each week, we dig into the questions, struggles, and stories that shape us, and we explore practical ways to feel a little lighter and a lot more understood. Hey everyone, welcome back to Adjust, the Conversation. Today, we are setting the foundation for a brand new conversation. We are zooming completely out to tackle a word you've probably heard everywhere, on TV and movies and definitely all over your social media feeds. Wellness, specifically holistic wellness. But what does holistic wellness actually mean when you strip away all of the hype? In this episode, we dive into the true meaning of a mind, body, and spiritual connection. It turns out it's not just about you, it's about your environment, your relationships, and literally every single facet that makes you up. We also get really honest about what happens when you do all of the mental work, but your body still feels completely stuck. We break down the biology of why our systems shut down and look at how a system called acceptance and commitment therapy can help you step out of resistance and move into genuine action. Consider this episode your official baseline guide to mind-body health. There we go. The topic of the day is wellness, holistic wellness with a W. I don't know what we got on the title. As you understand it, because I know I hear it everywhere. TV, movies, even TikTok posts, like everything. Holistic nutrition, holistic everything, holistic therapy, holistic treatment centers. So it's like, I feel like I know what holistic means.
Right.
But it could also mean, like we joked about the English language, but one of three different definitions.
Right. How would you describe it?
I think it's very, everything matters. The whole matters. They're gestalt, right? Like we're all parts of the whole, things make us up. But holistic is considering, I think, both the mind and the body. And that's where you'll hear this on treatment teams, like holistic treatment teams.
Yeah.
And that's where like your doctors, your therapists, your PT, your OT, your speech, your teachers, who depends on who you're going for, the people that you're working with, your patients, they come together. And if you've ever been involved in any type of community mental health work, they have holistic treatment teams, or they should
Have it.
because it's so helpful. But that's what it is, right? It's an inter-body cooperation between the mind and the body. Do you view that the same, different, or do you explain it a little?
Well, very well said.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have been able to put it together like that.
I'm surprised I did.
Even more than, I mean, I know we always go to like mind, body, but it's more than that, right? It's mind, body, spirit.
Ooh,
I know, right?
spirit.
That's what came to mind initially, because I'm like, yeah, it's the whole parts that make up the self, which is not just you, right?
Yes.
It's your environment, it's your relationships.
Yeah.
It's like taking into account literally every facet that makes you up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love that. No, absolutely, right? That's the whole point. Is you heard when we were talking about like who's around that table at King Arthur's round table there?
Yeah.
You got your therapist, you got you got, but they're all equal. That's why King Arthur picked the round table. It's because he wanted equality. A whole other topic.
Well,
But I love earlier we were talking, you said history is so important.
oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's part of, like that's just a cool thing,
Yeah.
right? For real. And that's carried through until now. And I know we're having an interview with Melissa coming up on that GLP, nutrition, wellness. This is a huge pop thing right now. And so we're going to get into this with her there as well. She comes from that like mind-body connection, which you and I also as therapists work with. Have you ever had a client who's like, I am that client, by the way, who's like so attuned with what's going on in their body, but they still feel stuck?
Yeah.
Like everything seems to be clicking, right? But like I'm still stuck. And you've done the insight work, but like they just can't move past that. How would you expand into that world of, hey, maybe there's more to this. Maybe we need to open up our team. Maybe we need to do whatever. Because, like, I don't think therapy alone can get you there, which is why I'm asking.
I guess it just so depends.
So true.
I don't have ever time to give like a broad answer.
Other than, like, my personal experience of, like, where I'm sitting and I'm like, I know what I need to do. It's like when you're going, you're like, I know I need to take a shower.
Yeah.
And I know with those with ADHD, right? You know, it's a sensory overload experience. You're like, oh man, I gotta get cold and find a towel. Half the time the towel you grab is wet anyway. And you're like, great. So, right, you see how this can be very, eventually you get to a point of like overload and you're like, nope, right now. And you shut down, right? I love this word, dorsal vagal shutdown.
Yeah.
And that's just where you kind of turn inward. Some people may split outward. I'm getting to the point. Sorry, stick with me. Almost done. But then it doesn't progress. That's what I mean by stuck. And you're like, I can tell you exactly what goes on.
Yeah. Like, okay, so tell me if this is what you're saying. Like a disconnect between logic, what you know, and like you can't get yourself to be in that place of feeling it.
Yeah.
Talk about that a lot with clients. I think that's a tact, Hansa.
Okay. Like you need to learn how to sit with that distress.
Yeah, and like find direction and acceptance rather than resistance.
I love that. So I feel like now that you're talking, that's kind of where I start. Yeah. Because I know all therapists have different ways of doing it.
For sure.
But I love this ACT.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you say, hey, here's our principle, right? Acceptance, we're going to commit. We're going to reframe and adjust and all this other stuff, right? We're going to base it on our values, do all our fun good. How do you get them to make that connection to the real world and start implementing that wellness, using that as a broad term?
Right.
Because for me, like with ACT, I go back to goals or values or something.
Right. I go back to values, obviously. But like assessing how values could show up in like decision making out there, like in the real world.
Barriers. You want to do this thing. You want to move more, right? We're about to talk about that.
Yeah.
What's getting in the way?
Right. And because clearly whatever is getting in the way, maybe even figuring that out isn't enough, and we need to figure out like even more so what function it serves. And that's like, I guess, kind of going into that, that's like parts of what it serves.
I love IFS.
Yeah, I've been using it a lot more recently.
That book Jonathan Van Ness wrote on it, it's a fun read. It's really interesting. Then those parts, and then who is doing what, if you will, and the protector, you know, is there something there? I see where you're going with this. Absolutely.
Yeah. Using parts and values, because parts can have values, right? And they can contradict. And so that's why I love like mapping parts, just doing like a functional analysis of what this would serve without like any judgment, and bringing that to like the outside world, just like more of like an evaluating rather than rushing for the outcome.
Oh yeah, and trust the journey process. Get your okay. Wow. And I mean, I feel like there's 27 branches I could follow down on that. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to do one.
Well, I'm not too sure how you explained to me how that relates back to your original question,
which was how do we connect them with the outside world and addressing the barriers? I was like, hold up, we'll get there. So, oh my gosh. I was like, which was? No? Okay. That's why I miss when it used to transcribe live. And I could go back and you see it.
I know.
You know what? We adapt, adjust. I'm gonna have to get a symbol. Maybe I can figure that out in post. But no, how's what you say related? Man, I have to echo gee willikers, almost 100%, and here's why. It's so individualized. It's so subjective. Like, you have to step back, which is why the question of, does therapy alone get you there? This is why starting with the therapeutics helps, is because it addresses almost every single point you have. And then you take that, and then it almost creates its own action plan. From what I'm understanding, what do you do with accountability? Like, do you start there? When you start to branch out, like a buddy or anything? Because, we're talking about teamwork, right? And wellness, and it's a journey of a village there, I think.
Yes, actually, yes. I'm just thinking, like, back to in sessions, and
Yeah.
I do a lot of, like, pattern recognition, and then if this is a pattern that you need to be held accountable on working on, let your support system know, and they say, hey, this is something that I'm trying to work on for myself. If you see you doing this, can you just say, hey, point it out for me?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a big thing. And I think, yeah, that accountability, like relying on, not relying, but using reliable support systems to help you build those habits.
I believe we are social beings. We need community. I think anthropologists might come after me, but like, I'm sure you've heard about tribes, people coming together and things like that. And I know you had mentioned earlier about this idea of, I think we were referencing back to like that saber-toothed tiger idea and the hunters and the gatherers. And I think it would be a really good transition to the next segue here of like how movement and heat and breath and all this stuff is important. But I really liked what you said about the hunters and the gatherers, but also the saber-toothed tiger. Do you remember most of what you had said? Because I really liked the way you worded it.
Cool. I had gotten it from, I think, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And you were talking about stress, and I was just blown away by such like an in-your-face explanation, but not at all of how, like, in the past you were talking about movement was the go-to for getting out of fight or flight and presenting with, like, those really basic threats of life or death, fire and hail, whatever. And then I was just thinking about how today I feel like it's much harder to access that movement, that part of it, because there's so many, not easy way outs, but just like
Instant fixes, maybe?
Yeah, okay. And yeah, like band-aids. That you don't have to necessarily, like, that movement doesn't come as quickly, I feel like, as it used to back in the day. Because of all, I can't think of like the word, like just all these materialistic,
Like the modern threats type idea.
Thank you, Ashley.
If anybody's waiting to criticize the introduction of the last one, feel free to. It was the most millennial thing I've ever done in my life. We're channeling David Attenborough. It's supposed to be a thing, and I just went with it. Let's see, this is why I'm not allowed to have creative direction. No victimless crime, right? Isn't truthiness a victimless crime? But that is exactly the spirit of that, right? Of just movement serve purpose. And I love that that's kind of where we're going here, is that the modern world does have its own version.
Yeah.
But what do? We shut down. We turn inward. And the next segment here is this polyvagal stuff. And I remember you saying you were pretty darn interested in it.
Yeah.
I have heard there's been some updates on some adjustments on the polyvagal theory. Just out of curiosity, communities talking about like the biology of it, and they go back to this validity study. But it said, like, while the science is like, the tools still work. So I was like, that's kind of cool. They're just reevaluating the system with which it works.
Interesting.
I was like, yeah, but if it ain't broke, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love that accountability.
You know, but that's why they call them a theory.
Right.
I had a conversation about, sorry, very brief aside. I had a conversation about, it's like, they didn't think science was real because they used the word theory. And I said, they use it in a different way, right? Theory is, it's ever evolving. This isn't just an idea I have, right? Hippos can fly.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about like Newton's law, that is technically a theory because science knows you can't change it. And so that's why this is a theory, right? Ever learning. And that's what you want in science, right? Like, yes. But what I love is it still works. Yeah. That lizard thing you talked about with the meow, meow, meow.
Yeah.
I tried it. Oh, it's gone. I mean, it worked.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to hear more about that.
I'm going to try with some kids this afternoon, see what happens.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good. But anyway, sorry. Right, I know we've been just kind of introducing this idea of wellness. And I love how you pointed out this idea that it's not just physical wellness. It's spiritual, it's emotional. We've talked about this 127 times, I think. And it's because it's so important.
You know, interested about the heat part of that recipe.
I am too.
Do you have more to say?
Well, because I'm thinking about like the aftermath of movement, like biologically what happens. And I mean, we know heat is a chemical process. Heat is just energy being released because electrons have force. It's a whole thing. It is interesting if you've ever worked with biofeedback, how powerful your mind is when it comes to regulating the heartbeat, the muscles, as long as you can train it. So I'm curious here when it comes to wellness. How do you balance movement and mindfulness, right? And then you get hot, which indicates, right, fight or flight maybe, I don't know. So it's like, how do you train that system back down? And I feel like there's so much going on under the surface. In my mind goes just back to education and laying that groundwork. But then that's why, like, you know, I talked about the surprise collaboration, we'll say.
Oh, yeah.
Because people get so, they don't know what it feels like. They don't know what the movement feels like. And then to have the heat and then to use the breath to calm it, like you said with the lizard tongue type idea. And so luckily, here's the big announcement. It fits perfectly. Ta! No, the hot room.
Yes.
They have locations, I think, in Bloomington, Fishers, Uptown, Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis. I think there's one opening in Zionsville. Oh, which is really cool. But they literally combine movement, heat, and breath.
Wow.
And so we've Adjust as a whole has collaborated with them to offer, using a special code only found on the podcast because we're that special. You get to attend their studio 3 times for $30.
Wow.
And you get to see what we're talking about. I'd highly recommend the Yin, but if your mind is a hamster wheel, let them know. But they guide, they do a lot of breath work, they throw education in. We're even going to have one of their yogis come on and talk about the vagal stuff, the movement, heat, breath, neurobiology things. These guys are amazing.
Oh, that's going to be so interesting.
But I also can't help but notice that we've arrived at a yoga spot, and I have to give a shameless plug.
I mean, we have
to Puppies in Yoga.
Puppies.
Can we just for 5 minutes? So there was a dog. His name was Simon, and he was the best puppy. Oh, he's here, Simon. Oh, no, he's your Simon. Oh, he's yours.
I mean, yeah, in spirit. In spirit.
But when I tell you, like, I don't know about you, going down there was awful. I hit like 8,000 pounds of traffic. Couldn't find parking.
And you know what? Okay, well, this is a bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
This is, because remember the other work gathering he had was at thermals.
Yeah.
I was struggling to find parking. I remembered that I had such a terrible energy because I'm just not going to the car. And I remember I had like wherever I parked with this Puppies in Yoga because it's downtown Indy, right?
You think it was like Delaware Street?
Like right on the corner. Yeah. Small, they do have parking, like a little parking lot, but it gets packed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. So you go and get there early.
Yeah, when they say 12 to 15 minutes, they aren't joking.
Yeah. So I parked on the street and I had like a 7-minute walk there, and yeah, it was fine. But I was like, I'm not gonna bring like a negative energy into this.
You only give it to the puppies. Right.
The difference and like that was like such an intentional decision for me to make though.
What?
And I think that like intentional well, first off, it was such an intentional like decision, like behavioral decision, but I had like I could feel the impacts throughout my body
Nice.
doing the yoga, like being present with the DOMs, whereas I could have been stuck in the energy of in the car, right?
Yeah, and that defeats the point of yoga.
But like bringing that intentional mindset to the movement, to the breathing,
Ooh.
it made it feel
Did you feel that nervous system shit?
better.
Just truly. One turned off, another turned on.
Exactly.
And puppies. Who? Okay, if anybody out there knows the study I'm talking about, let me know. And Marcella, you may actually know. Where they basically had 2 pods, like 2 little, I call them goldfish bowls. And they're like, you're going to answer questions about your finals or whatever. And then instead of doing that, they opened the door and a bunch of puppies ran into one and a bunch of kittens ran into another. Oh, yeah, it's exactly how cute. But they get a stress test before and after. Exactly your experience. Yeah. It's like, I had a bleep, 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 bleep day.
Yeah.
And now it's like, life has meaning. I have joy. Cuteness is everywhere. It is nuts
Yeah.
because it just floods the brain with that bonding, the oxytocin, just the dope. Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the hot room does not have puppy yoga. But puppy yoga has puppy yoga. And we have to give it a shout out. But if you're like, look, can't get all the way down to Indy and you happen to be around the hot room, and we'll have all that information on the Just website, but also on our socials.
So you done like a hot room session? You done one?
I have 164 under my belt.
Okay, so we've had
It's a streak.
session.
It's a streak. I'm just saying. My cousin used to work for the hot room. He moved to California, but that's how I got started. And they've just transformed my life.
So just your personal shout out experience. What would you say? Sum it up in a few words.
I think even one of the questions I had written was, what was your first time reaction? I think in my review, I said it was the hardest thing I'll ever love. And I was like, because you feel so good. And anybody who's ever been to the gym and has increased their weight on their rep for that final one, the max out one, you know what that feeling I'm talking about, right? You get at the end of it, you're like, and then you just kind of like go all for it. That is how you feel. And these people surround you, talk about energy. They're human puppies. They are gorgeous humans. They don't bring the negative energy. And I think really the only energy I've ever gotten from one of their instructors was just sleepy. Yep, relaxation in a yoga class, bring it.
Yeah. Needed.
It's just, and there's different types, and we'll get into that, and I can go on, but this is all that on that topic of wellness.
Right.
So we'll have some episodes. This is more of an introductory one, but episodes on yoga as wellness. But then we'll have Melissa come on.
Yeah.
And we'll do one with nutrition. Sleep is part of wellness. And that's why this entire month of August is just going to be wellness stuff. And then at the end of August, we're going to just take a little break for, just a little bit. Still creating content, just doing some research, doing some learning, trying to get some feedback from listeners. And then we'll be back before the end of the year. But we'll still have the lines of communication open. The show will still be available. Just like with every show, you got to take a break to get more content. We kind of know how it came together. We know that it's part of wellness. We know that therapy is also a part of wellness. And what I love is it can start anywhere, right? Mine started with strength training. And so my question for you is, where did your awareness of wellness, maybe you fell in love with it, or just you're like,
I don't know if this is even correct, but I think social issues,
yes.
because I really became aware, like, going into college, and then with my minor being race, gender, and sexuality studies.
That was your minor?
Yeah.
That is dope.
Oh, it was the best part of.
You know we're doing a men's health ones coming up here, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Marcella.
Yeah. It was the best experience for me. Like, it opened my worldview so much and made me realize, like, wellness on so many different levels, like globally, right? Like,
Wow.
yeah, I love that minor. But so yeah, I think really learning about going back to like that history, like learning about past experiences of wellness not being prioritized or stripped from people. And that just like touched me so deeply and inspired me to like make that a priority for myself and others.
Clap, 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 clap. That's just my reminder to add that sound in there because holy freaking crap. Yeah, dude. And I wonder how many people like are like out there listening and like, oh my God, yeah, me too. 100%. What a cool thing. And this is why I love talking about wellness with people, right? It's part of my self-care wheel. Tell me about that because then all these cool stories come out.
Right.
And one of the reasons you and I, this could be like another podcast where it's just two therapists talking theories. But well, now I do listen to those. Those are amazing. No slide. No. But I'm just like, what makes me so appreciative of our time is that we use self-disclosure. And we don't necessarily get a chance to do that with clients. We do, but this is a different format.
Yeah, so true.
And it's just being kind of thick and real. And so to hear you say that and then that, just hit me like a chunk of bricks in a good way. I'm just like, oh my God, yes, that's gorgeous. So I think my final question as we close out here, you're always going to have that person. And Rick for me, they say. It's not my thing. Right. Let's pretend we have this listener. Okay, right? Yeah, that's great, guys. Thanks for introducing wellness. Thanks for helping us understand its nutrition, body, mind, soul. But it's just not my thing. Is there something you would want to say to them? And remember, we can be blunt, right? Because we don't have a relationship to continue. No, we'll be therapeutically blunt.
I have to ask, like, what have you tried? Like, have you genuinely immersed yourself in the experience of enhancing your wellness? And diving into that because, yes, it might be hard, but it's always going to be worth it. So the question to me is like, is it not worth it?
The word values
Yeah.
comes to mind. It's like, yeah, cool. What's not worth it? The energy? And I find a lot of people focus on the feeling of doing it, not the feeling of what they're going to feel like after they're doing it.
Right.
I was like, dude, yeah, it sucks. Nobody loves working out. Are you kidding me? And if they do, they're psychotic. No, I'm kidding. But think about after you meet that good meal, after you do that Pilates class, after you go on that run, a walk, play with your dog, dance with your kid. I danced with my friend's kid a few months ago. That was the most fun I've had in ages.
Well,
A 2-year-old dance party?
adults need it.
Heck yeah. But that's movement. That's wellness. And so like, again, you and I will keep this conversation going. Melissa's gonna hop on. We're gonna have some yogis on. And remember, free classes for 30. Go to the website, go to our socials. There's a QR code. You just take it right in. We've already worked with the hot room. They know you're coming. But is there any final thoughts you want to send people away with? Just for me, it's holistic is a lot.
Yeah.
And all of it matters.
Maybe to counter that, don't be intimidated. Even though holistic is everything, you don't have to start with everything. It starts with one part.
and it can grow into another.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Adjust, right? It is a holistic practice.
Yes.
It provides the pharmaceuticals. It provides the therapeutic. It provides a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And if we can't give it, guess what? We got referral lists.
Yeah.
We'll do that. And that's what you want out of a practice. That's what you want out of a therapist, because it's not just one thing. Just like with coping skills or with stress or with love languages or with whatever else we've talked about last night.
Right.
I love it. So again, if you're feeling lost, you need a place to start. The door's always open. Always open. Holistic wellness can feel like an incredibly massive concept. It wraps up your physical body, your mental health, and the community around you. But here's the thing to remember as we start this journey together. You don't have to start by fixing everything all at once. True change begins with just one tiny single part. If your mind is currently spinning like a hamster wheel, it might be time to change up your routine. Wellness isn't just about forcing yourself through a brutal workout. Sometimes it looks like a 2-year-old dance party, maybe playing with a puppy or just learning how to sit with your own distress. It's all about how you feel after you show up for yourself. So if you're feeling a little bit lost and need a concrete place to start, we have a surprise for you. Grab our exclusive collaboration offer in the show notes or on our socials to get 3 classes for $30 with the Hot Room. Join us as we invite Erin Pulley into our next episode, and she really dives into the deep well that is yoga. Thank you so much for listening to what goes inside our heads. From our brains to yours, this has been Adjust the Conversation. We'll talk to you next time.